staying connected with your community is so important, right? It's the reason why people buy insurance from you. I can go online and buy insurance any day of the week. Anybody can go online and get one of those, in my opinion, BS content calendars that tells you what to post every day, and you're going to, have this great engagement.
Boring.
Right? And it's not you. It doesn't work. But if you take these techniques and you use them efficiently, you literally can be anywhere. You can be everywhere without having to go anywhere.
Welcome back to the CA Power Players Podcast, live every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Today we got a special guest, the queen of the news feed, organic, social media referrals, social media in general, Miss Sandra Gebhardt. Sandra, welcome back to the channel. You've been on the YouTube channel before, but not the podcast.
I'm excited.
So welcome to the podcast. Yes, excited to have you. At what point I'm kind of curious, for those that don't know you, like, what do you really specialize in, and why should they keep listening to today's episode?
So I specialize in organic social media marketing. So how to get your message out to prospects, referrals, your community at large, the state you're licensed in, but for free. Just trading out our time.
Okay, so when you say for free, right? That's a pretty powerful statement.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
I love that question because I hate using the word for free, right? Because nothing in life is for free. What I mean is, as you start interacting with people the same way you would in real life. So let's say that you're going to a chamber meeting or a BNI meeting, and you get into the room and you start interacting with people. You tell them your story. You let them know what's going on. And that tends to cost a membership fee. Again, cost your time. Those early morning people like me, you got to get up extra early and brush your hair, right? Like there's a lot that goes into it.
Are you an early bird? Are you an early bird?
No, okay. I'm up till 2 every night. I'm the opposite.
Oh my gosh.
So, but with your social media platforms, you can control the time that you want to be available, the time that you want to post, where you want to be, what you want to do, and the message you want to put out into the world. And that's really, really powerful in that you can create real relationships with people. You can get in front of people. You can get in front of people that you likely wouldn't be able to get in front of in a real life setting. Like if you're wanting to get in front of your town's mayor to talk insurance to that person. Likely they're hard to get to in a room, but if you can connect with them on your organic social media platforms, your Facebooks, LinkedIn's, things like that, then you can have a really, really powerful relationship without having to spend money going to events and all of that over and over and over again.
Yes. Yeah, which is super important. I mean, if you think about like, okay, I want to learn how to get people I want people to come to me, right? Like would you say it's more of an inbound approach than an outbound approach?
It's a combination of both. But you'll be surprised at who you can get in front of. And I think that's the biggest takeaway of it is if you want to talk to Cody Askins at 8%, you're going to get 10 seconds. But you might be able to catch him on his profile by interacting with what's going on. And that cake that Lauren found the other day, I was even messaging her over a cake, right? Like you're creating relationships and conversations, and they kind of pause. So you don't have to worry if somebody has to walk away. You can come back and pick up the conversation.
That's a really good point, because that sounds like it's naturally less threatening for those that are not like super extroverted individuals, right?
Yes. And that thought had never occurred to me until I started going to a lot of conferences. I've never been a real conference person, but there are a lot of people that are very timid and don't want to go up and just start a conversation. That was hard for me to wrap my mind around, surprisingly enough. Those of you that have met me, I kind of become instant best friends with whoever I come into. But it's really intriguing how you can control the conversation, and the people that have to think a little bit before they speak. Yes. It allows them that time and freedom to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, which is so good. Yeah, if you think about that, like, okay, I'm okay to do a little bit of outbound to get some inbound, right? Which is cool. I'm okay. I like the idea of people reaching out to me. I like being able to respond to my own terms. I don't like being boxed into a corner, having to create awkward conversation. Would you say that this specifically, and you've seen this consistently work with some of your students and clients and some of the agents around the country?
Oh, heck yeah. Daily. I've got agents that are like, I was able to get this relationship with this lender, or I was able to get in a virtual room, if you will, to use one of your sayings, with somebody that I've really been trying to get in front of. And I've used it myself, Cody, twice. Once in building my insurance agency, and then now in building my insurance agency. So it's so easy to stay connected with. I'm just going. Remember last time when I was nervous? I'm just going on this time.
You're good. She ain't nervous now. I love it.
But staying connected with your community is so important, right? It's the reason why people buy insurance from you. I can go online and buy insurance any day of the week. Anybody can go online and get one of those, in my opinion, BS content calendars that tells you what to post every day, and you're going to, have this great engagement.
Boring.
Right? And it's not you. It doesn't work. But if you take these techniques and you use them efficiently, you literally can be anywhere. You can be everywhere without having to go anywhere. So I've booked speaking.
Say it again.
You can be everywhere without going anywhere. You're omnipresent. You're just every time somebody turns around, there you are.
That's really what we tried to do here too, right? With what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff, and you don't have to learn a whole bunch of new things. One of my uplights is a flashlight. Like, it's using the tools that you have available to you. But I was able to do this and stay connected enough with my local community, which is still 45 minutes away. I have a 3-year-old. I'm trying to come up with a term, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I run a full-time business that brings in about 90% of our income. So
wow,
we need a term for that. We need to come up with some sort of term for our moms running businesses and parenting at the same time.
Yep, that's
it's harder to go to events.
Yeah.
But when TEDx came to our local town, some of the people off the committee actually reached out to me, and they were like, hey, I want you to apply to be a TEDx presenter. And if you think about that, that's absolutely huge. And I've done that in my slippers from my living room in Roundup, Montana. And that's just one story of how powerful being omnipresent, being everywhere, putting out your message and letting the world know this is what I do and this is how I do it. It's so powerful.
Yes. It is really powerful too. And it starts to also, there's an additional element that starts to happen with a lot of that stuff to where you actually start to grow your brand. They start to refer you to other people. You start to get more attention. You start to naturally grow your audience, which is cool because that's something you can use forever, Yeah, that's strong. Where would you like to pivot to now on everything? I know you got a lot going on, right? One of your main things that you focus on is helping people. And when you say, like, for example, one of the things you talk about is news feed nobility. When you talk about news feed, are you talking about just being active on the news feed? Or are you talking about, as I think you used part of your program on me, by the way, because you introduced me to, is this true, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you introduced me to a bunch of people or several podcasts and other speakers and said, hey, you guys should do some stuff together. You should have Cody on your podcast, whatever. Then I'm like, dang, I just need to interview her. She's like bringing all this value to me. I need to reciprocate. Talk about that aspect of like reciprocating value and bringing value first.
So one of my absolute favorite things to do is to be a power connector, bring people together. And that's what I teach people in Newsfeed Nobility. So everything's broken down into a mechanism. I call it the 5x5x5 challenge. And we strategically connect you with 5 people every day. You strategically interact with 5 people every day, and you strategically message 5 people every day. And when you start doing that, and I help you with, formulating what you want to say, and I'm never going to give you a handout that's like, this is what you post on Tuesday at 2:00, because your brand is your unique voice. Your brand is who you are. We've all seen people try to step out of integrity and have a different brand, right? That isn't truly who they are. And it always comes out the other side. So for me personally, I'm big into power connecting. So it's not only you, Cody, but I'm messaging your head sales guy and saying, hey, this person might be interested in having a booth, or I've got Rodney on my messages if somebody needs leads. So I find out who I can help, where I can help them, and I bring all of that together. So one thing that I've taken away from my students is everybody goes left, I always go right. The word value in and of itself. So what we've done is we've broke it down. And there's two aspects that we look at first out. There's more layers of value. But that was one thing that I struggled with really hard when I first started this. I was like, everybody says bring value. What does that mean? Like, should I send everybody $1? Like, what is their value? So we break it down into two categories to start with: educational value or inspirational value. Those seem to be the two that you can get interacting with the best on your news feed and interacting with people. So for you, it was, I was introducing you to people. So I would put that under educational value. Like, hey, here are some people you might not know about. Sometimes Bree, the other day, I was shooting her a whole bunch of inspirational value and kind of speaking into the messages that she was putting out. So it's finding what your people need and then filling that hole with, educational value, inspirational value, monetization. Sometimes we do monetization value, where if somebody's kid's selling a raffle ticket, buy the raffle ticket.
Yeah, it's true. That's a really good point. That's just like being a good person in general, And so a lot of people, like, they don't realize, okay, Zig Ziglar always said it, right? If you give enough people what they want, then you'll get what you want, And so that's one thing you've found a way to help agents with is naturally everybody's thinking about, okay, how do I get in front of people, right? If we don't get in front of people, we don't make any money in the insurance game. Well, you figured out how to use social and bring value to others, educational or inspirational, which is cool. And you found that as a way to reciprocate and to actually get referrals in return. Actually, you made me think of something. I posted a picture yesterday because I like to post. Typically, I like to post every day on Instagram. We don't always do that. I got a little lax this weekend, but I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, what should I post? Right? I'm sitting there thinking about social media and Instagram. I'm like, man, I need to post something. Like, it was, So I'm like, okay. So I'll start looking through my photos, and I'm like, this, which you probably saw on Instagram. I'm like, this is hilarious. Where we've got my team, and they are literally laying on the wing of a private jet. Well, it hasn't done as well as my previous post of my wife, which got 750 likes. This one's about half that so far. However, Brett, Dylan, and Derek are not near as cute as my wife, so that's their fault. But I'm gonna tell them though, hey, either you guys either we get the likes up, or I can't post you guys anymore.
Yeah. Well, and that's the fun thing about content is I did the exact same. I was looking at my phone too. I did the exact same thing because honestly, I didn't do much this weekend. Like, we went and saw Santa, and, we didn't do a ton. So if you don't have stuff going on, you can always go back and find stuff and tell a story and come from a different angle. And then I actually keep an album on my phone of just interesting pictures I see that I can go back and use as content later.
That's good. That's good. What's some actionable? What's some actionable tips that an agent could use and they could do right now that you're willing to share for free that they could learn and take away?
So two things. The two quickest starting things is to start posting 2 times a day. Okay. So people say, well, I don't have anything interesting going on. Post a picture that you got a coffee, right? I actually remember Cody posting, he was at an event. I can't remember whose event it was, but he got a hot tea. And he told this whole story about how he tipped in, they forgot his honey, and he went back. And I can regurgitate the story to you because in that moment, what Cody doesn't know is in that moment, I was at a restaurant and I was getting poor service. And what did I do? I tipped her 25% because I was extending grace. And for some reason, well, I know why, but for, Cody's message came across while I was at the restaurant, at the same time reminding me to just slow down, and maybe somebody else is having a bad day. That's how I tend to live life, but I was caught in my trap that day. So putting out, somebody might say, well, why does it matter if I post a picture of my coffee? Well, right there's a real story of how Cody posting something that I've never actually told him that story came back and then blessed a waitress that was likely having a bad day, 2 waitresses in 2 completely different states, right? Like, how cool is that? So don't assume that the content that you want to put out, other people won't find interesting and they won't relate with it. So it can be a picture of you doing a Zoom call in fluffy slippers, right? Because you work
Yes.
from home. It can be anything, and let people get to know, like, and trust you. So you can post a hobby, you can post your family, you can post your work, and it's okay to post about your work. And the other side of that is start sending out those friend requests to people that you want to be connected with, but you've got a little bit of imposter syndrome. Maybe you're nervous to send the friend request. Just start connecting with people, with power players, if you will.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes. Like Sandra. Okay. So that's 2 actionable things. That's good takeaways. To post twice a day. And we start sending out friend requests every single day to people that you want to really connect with, and then I guarantee you she's probably, after she's friending them, she's probably going and connecting in the DMs in some way, right? Knowing her, which is cool. Like that's really what I've learned about you specifically is a lot of people do stuff generally. They just post every once in a while because they want to post, right? They do this just because they want to do this, or they just do that because that's what people do, right? But you're much more intentional about what you do. I was talking about this earlier, this concept of why are you just fitting in when you were called to stand out, right? And people were meant to stand out, but we're not going all in on something. We're not being intentional. Like I showed my wife a sermon from a pastor recently, and I was like, "Babe, you got to see this story." The guy told this story was unbelievable, and I shared it with her, and I showed her, and then she's like, "Babe," I said, I can't tell stories that way. I said, I am not to this guy's level yet. She's like, "You're a very good speaker." She said, "But you haven't went all in like he has." And I'm like, gosh, dang it, she's right. You seem to have done that in certain avenues, right? Compared to other people in our industry that just aren't doing that.
Yep. I have found my love and my passion in teaching agents how to do this. And part of that stems, Cody, from I ran ads. I've coached on how to run ads. I've ran mortgage ads. I've ran all of the ads, right?
Wow.
And I did that for years. And it's actually a really funny story. I was running ads for a few different people that were selling the ads. And I was watching one agent say, "These leads suck." And then he would go to the other company where I was running the same leads too. And he would be like, "Well, these leads are great." Well, the leads didn't change.
They were amazing.
They're the best leads ever. What changed was the front person, their mindset, whatever. Maybe they had a good waitress that day. I don't know, but something else changed. And I started thinking, I have this gift with the organic social media. I make real life friendships with people. These guys over here on my wall, those are my digital marketing friends. Like, they're on my family wall, you guys. Like, these are people we send Christmas cards. Those are notes they've sent me recently. And I hang them up on the wall, and I have real relationships that I've built. And I thought, why are agents trying to sell leads to each other and trying to find this amazing tool that's going to make something happen? And what I noticed was everybody's marketing, not everybody, but the majority of agents' marketing plans were linear.
Yeah.
Meaning that they were like, okay, I'm going to try paid leads for 3 months. And then I'm going to try transfers for 3 months. It's always 3 months. So gut check time. Somebody right here listening right now is 3 months in, and they're like, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go try Sandra's program for 3 months. But what we need 3 legs, at least. In my opinion, you need paid traffic, which I think you should get through Rodney at Secure Agent Marketing.
Amen.
You need organic social media, and you need referrals, real life referrals, not, "Hey, Cody, do you think maybe you might send me some leads and I might shoot you a couple?" You need to interview people. You need to be strategic about it. You need to have expectations, and in all 3 aspects. And that's how I got into this, was because I was tired of watching agents throw thousands of dollars out the window because it's marketing, right? But it goes back to that sermon, what we're talking about, going all in. So it doesn't matter who the leads are coming from. It doesn't matter what leads they are. It doesn't matter what you're posting on Facebook. You have to be all in on your areas of marketing, or you need to hire somebody to do it. Because it's kind of like being like, well, I don't like answering the phone, So I'm going to try a different way to do it. You can't just blow
Yes.
everything up all the time.
Yes. So good. So true. What do you think about an agent that's like, okay, I tried posting on social. I didn't get any referrals. I don't get any referrals. I also don't sell any insurance, and I really need some help.
The majority of the time, it's because you're not being strategic in it. Okay. So being strategic in this, the algorithm is a real thing.
Yeah.
So the 5x5x5, if you do 2 of those 5s, you're going to be like, Sandra's full of it. She sucks. This program doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. You didn't go all in. You didn't do each aspect. And what each aspect does is it changes your algorithm. So it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter how long I've done this. It doesn't matter how long you've done this. If you stop posting and you stop your strategic line that you're following, you will have repercussions. The algorithm will give up on you. Mitch Miller teaches and talks about how social media is like your own television program. So first of all, you have to be engaging. You have to let people see a little bit behind the curtain. You have to let them know these are my likes, my dislikes. And you can do that you don't have to, I always say, treat it like your grandma's on there, right? Like we don't have to bring up politics and everything that's going on. That's cheap, easy engagement. And it's not going to turn into sales. So you have to be strategic in who you're interacting with, but then you also have to be okay with lifting up the curtain a little bit and letting people know.
Yes.
I can pick up a conversation with somebody like Cody just from watching his social media, knowing that working out to him is important, scaling is important, being receiving educational value is important, right? You can learn that from people, but you can't if you're not putting it out.
So good. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point too. Like people are learning what you like, what you do. They see how serious you are. Like a lot of people don't use stories. We use stories pretty heavy. I also have 40 Instagram DMs haven't even responded to yet today. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's wild. But that's where it's more of playing the long game. A lot of people are like, so worried about today and tomorrow. And it's like, dude, this whole social media thing is going to take some time. Like you're getting referrals, it's going to take time. Selling a lot of insurance is going to take time. Like nothing's an overnight success. It's the people that do well, or they're willing to play the long game while still hustling in the short term.
Yep. And that's why you have to have those other layers of marketing.
Yes. What's a good way for someone to reach out and learn about what you're doing and how they can get more in touch with you? And
my website would be the best place. It's sandragebhardt.com, and it's GEBHARDT, sandragebhardt.com. One more time, sandragebhardt.com. There's a tip. Anytime you tell somebody how to get a hold of you, say it 3 times.
Yes, that's good. What's another tip that we didn't release that comes to mind for you that you almost shared, but we haven't yet?
When it comes to posting content, this is more just a PSA. We can do another tip too. Sure. But especially our women, especially if you're out with your kids, if you're out on a girls' night, it doesn't matter. Try really hard not to post in real time. Okay. We want to think about our safety at all times. So if you see me post Gage and I at the trampoline park, I promise you we've left the trampoline park at that point. If I'm at a hotel, I never take pictures on my floor. I never want anybody knowing I'm staying on the 5th floor. I make sure that if I'm posting a location, if we're on vacation, things like that, I make sure somebody's at our house. If somebody's not at our house, I'm not letting people know I left my house. So keep that in mind. Again, social media is everybody's highlight reel, and it doesn't have to be happening in real time. So if you're out with 4 girlfriends and you're hanging out and you want to take pictures, that's fine. You can even tag the wrong restaurant if you want to put it up in real time, but don't let people know, here we are. This is what we're doing. It's dark out. Be careful with that kind of stuff. And Cody,
I think you just called me out. I think you just called me out on everything you just said. Well, I'm hiring security for my house. Dylan, let's set it up.
And part of it depends, right? So, we all know our own safety zones. I don't have a big safety concern in Roundup, Montana, so I tend to post things in real time here. But if there is a woman that is listening to this program right now, and she's in a situation where she's in a bad relationship, so there's a physical safety issue about her building her own personal brand, reach out to me. Find me again, sandragebhart.com. I will work with you 100% for free on how to build up a brand, but keep it to where the people you don't want to find you can't find you, if that makes sense. So the people that need it, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's strong, valuable, and helpful. It does make a lot of sense. What's something that, like, where do you see this thing going? Like, what's some of your goals and targets, and what are you looking forward to doing?
So I know my goals. They're writing down every day.
I like it. That's right. That's right.
Askins.com. I would like to have I will have 5,000 agents in the Newsfeed Nobility program by the end of next year. So we're at about 120 right now, and we're scaling that up. I'm doing a whole new fresh launch. So anybody that joins now, we have all the contents recorded. It's set into Kartra now. We're doing 2 calls a week. So I'm here to help agents win. I'm not here to say I'm here to help agents win. My agents asked me for a second call, and I said, yeah, we can do that. So we're doing 2 live calls a week now. Plus we took all of the it started as a, it started as a little project where I wanted to bring some people in and see how they did. And it's really caught fire. So now we're expanding it out. We're getting the recorded content so you can go in and watch it. I'm available in the group for answering questions, as well as 2 times a week live on a call.
That's awesome. I love it.
It's the best educational value you're going to get for $97. I can promise you that.
That's phenomenal. What have you not shared that you'd like to close with or finish with?
I'm just excited that this is my journey. That my journey is to help agents learn these tools, to be able to work from a place of integrity and know that I can help change people's day to day, them putting their food on their table and doing it in a way that just allows everybody to win and to grow. And I get super excited when I walk into a conference like 8% or one of the road shows and people are talking to each other and they're like, yeah, I saw you online and I saw you online. And because what's so cool about that is when you get into rooms like that, then it's not, hey, Pete, my name's Sandra. This is what I do. This is where I'm from. But it's like, hey, I saw like Pete was just popping a bottle of champagne because he had a 6-figure month. Like, you can start a conversation. So I like to think that I'm helping single-handedly take away small talk, which I hate.
Boom. I like that. That's a good little motto too,
Yeah.
All right. Sandra Gebhart, taking away small talk forever. Okay? Awesome job. Appreciate you being on today. Okay. For those that, again, look up Sandra Gebhart, check her out. Thank you for being on. Appreciate your time so much.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
All right. If you love Sandra, can't promise you'll love the next one as much as this one, but we'll be back again next Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Appreciate you listening. If you love this video, I got another one that you're going to love. I got a video just to your right here. Click on that. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. And I'll see you in there. I've got a new top 10 quit list that I'm going to share with you right now. I'm telling you, there are 10 things that you may or may not be doing, but you got to quit doing these things immediately. I'm telling you.